Welcome on in. I hope you're good. I hope your weekend was good as always. Cybersanked, welcome on in. You've been like here for too long. Too early. Too early today. Too early. But welcome on in. Things are not good. I'm gonna explain that, but things are not good. In a right way, right? Everything is fine. Don't worry about it. But things are not good. God damn. Oh, I wish things were better. It's not the case. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, we have some updates-ish kind of thing. It's not necessarily a good update overall, but it's not a bad update either. So, like debatable. That's the usual. But yeah, as always, I hope the weekend was good. I know Stony has bits of updates. I'm guessing that Kat is not going to be here today because she's subathonic type situation stream, so that's going to be missing off the streak. That happens. But overall things are just like kind of broken, and I'm sad about it, but I don't have a choice. So, we do what we can. We do what we can. Other than that, other than that, everything is fine. So let me just go over the usual things. Hi again, Cyberset. Over these sections because that's kind of necessary to have. Um, we have some teeny tiny changes compared to last week, which is pretty good. Which is pretty good, which are pretty good. That's an all situation. I'm trying to figure out some stuff, and it's not broken, bitch. It is broken. It's not working. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, the main issue that I have is the notification system. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. Basically, iOS needs some sort of a schedule for the notification. So you either give it like a fixed schedule, or you give it a time to schedule the thing based on an action that the user took. Right? And so I can have a notification at 10:30 in the morning to say, are you wearing anything today? Which is what I have, which is good because it's a bit of a reminder for people that have not worn anything. However, so far, every time that I've tried to put that in place, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It goes through even if the user has a perfume wearing today. So for example, right here, I have a perfume that's currently wearing. If it was 10:30, it would just still send me a notification of what are you wearing, even though the app absolutely knows that I'm wearing something. So I had to fix that, and I'm gonna see tomorrow, but I have doubts. I have doubts. And then once I have a perfume that is currently in testing or in wearing or in whatever, I have a workflow to check things. Yeah, right.
Jeroen van Wissen just resubscribed for 19 months. Boo.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for the resub and the confettis. That is impressive. Everything at the same time is pretty impressive. You might make it. Oh, so close. Uh, that is that. Yeah, I get it. I would understand. I would understand. To be honest, I wouldn't blame you for unsubbing. Tony, hi, welcome. So yeah, that was close. Goddamn. Uh, so that's the thing for the notification, right? I've had this thing not necessarily working. Yes, it is time. You should not resub for December. Just make sure that that's not happening. But yeah. Other than that, the notification system, right when I'm wearing perfume, is supposed to send me a notification at +2 hours and +4 hours and +8 hours, basically. And it doesn't seem to do anything. I don't seem to receive any notification. And I think I know why, kinda, but I'm not sure because I'm still receiving the 10:30 notification. So something is wrong in the system, and I don't get it. So that's the first thing. Why shouldn't we resub for December? Because I'm probably not going to be streaming for December. I said that last week, but basically I have things happening mid-December, early December as well. Then I have the family stuff. All of that is going to probably take the December again. And because I will be going into details on that in a second, but still, I don't know if I'm going to continue streaming, to be blunt, just because I'm too tired. It doesn't do what I'm wanting it to do, and it's taking a lot of time that I don't really have for things that I could focus on that are different. So I don't know. We'll see. I might be leaving everyone hanging. I don't fucking know. It's just a weird situation right now. Like the medicines and the thing that I'm taking, it's just not giving me enough energy to be like uh, enjoying the process of streaming that I used to, unless there is enough like questions and or people in the chat that are requesting reviews, but that's not the case anymore. Like we have maybe one review every week and a half that happens. So it's not as good as it used to be. So I might just go away um, and be good with that. Or I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not sure and not certain that this will happen. The only thing that I know is that December is probably going to be slow. And if I come back, I come back in January, so that's the thing. But yeah, that's the issue as well for you, Stony, specifically, is that it the Twitter things is a review of what is the current state of design. So it is something that is interesting for people like me, but yeah, if it's not interesting to you, it's not interesting to you, and that's it. But there is nothing else right now that can work for me as of right this instant. I tried to reopen Figma today to work on something. I spent 5 minutes on it and it pissed me off. Um, so yeah, like I really don't have any enjoyment of, um, you know, the design related stuff anymore. Like it's really, 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 really not enjoyable at all right now. So that's the situation. Like I can help someone that has something in design related issues, but I can't really make any design from scratch anymore, mainly because it's just like it's not fun. It's not interesting. Nothing really new happened. And so the Twitter thing is the only thing that is kind of new because it's just, oh yeah, these people are changing the design style that they're making because it becomes more interesting by changing that and that. But again, at the end of the day, the thing that they're making is so basic and boring to me now that I don't know. So yeah, that is the current situation. Um, I don't know if it will be a long ass break. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to become a gaming streamer either because streaming from a Mac is not an option, and the 1080 that I have on the PC is not a good card for streaming. Well, 2060, it's a 2060, but still, right? That wouldn't be a an option either. So yeah, it's just like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but I hate Minecraft. Like it's just not a. I mean, I'm not a gamer in any shape or form. I've said that many times. And I I hate gaming in general when I'm doing it, but I don't mind watching someone else do it for me. Um, that's fine. The only games that I used to play religiously, almost every day, um, was Overwatch, but I haven't touched it since Doomfist was introduced. So that's 2017, 2018 maybe. So yeah, it's been it's been a while. It's been a while. Um, yeah, no, I don't game. I don't care about much stuff lately. Not a lot of things are happening that are really interesting. So yeah, I can be French and complain. That's good. But yeah, design review is the only thing that is kind of good on stream, at least for me, from my point of view. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's so much things that are like could be good, but also I don't have the motivation to do anything at all. Again, I'm not gonna blame the meds, but I'm gonna blame the meds since I had this thing and I just started to take the medicine. I don't have any willpower to do anything. Uh, I'm working on the app during the day most of the time, and it's a matter of like slot of time of 20 minutes, maybe, to potentially an hour or 2 hours when I'm really in the thing and something needs to happen and be fixed. But other than that, I'm just laying down. Like that's all I can do. I can't do anything else. So that's really bad. Um, and I don't think taking a break will change anything, to be honest, because again, I am like resting all day. Which is really so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Design is really not fun anymore, which is kind of sad. And there is nothing else that is fun anymore. That sounds really depressive, which is probably the case. But yeah, that is the situation. So that's why you might not want to resub for December, just because, I don't have a garden. I live on the sixth floor of a building in the center of Paris. There is no gardening optional. Like, it's just, I don't really have a lot of options. And yeah, I don't have friends. Family is far away. Like, it's just not a lot of things are optional. So yeah, the only thing that I have right now for me, like these things, which is fine, but it's also not good because it pissed me off more than anything because I don't understand what I'm doing. Um, that could be fun, yeah, but not necessarily something that give me some money, like that. It needs to die first before it comes back. Like that's the thing. I don't understand why it needs to go through the steps of not having like of Twitch saying, "Oh, we need a recovery screen." As soon as I see the recovery screen on my side, on my preview on my phone, it then come back. I don't get it. I don't get it, but I know when it happens, so that's fine. So yeah, there is also that pisses me off when it comes to streaming. that just like my entire situation when it comes to like the internet here is not as stable as it used to be. And yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing. That's also an option, yes. But yeah, so that's for December. I don't know. We'll see. Um, I might come back in January. I might still stream in December in the beginning, but I don't know for how long. So that's the reason why I'm saying maybe don't resub on in December. Might not make any sense. Um, I mean, I wouldn't say no to some money, but uh, if I'm not here, it makes no sense to me. That's the main point. But yeah, that's the only thing that I have. But again, as I was saying before, it kind of crashed. I like the fact that I'm building something, but I don't like the fact that I don't know how I'm building something. And taking a course doesn't help. I tried many times; it just doesn't work with my brain as much as I want it to work. So that happens. And then the frustration is just it works, but I don't know why. And then I can't like fix things and make things better. So, for example, the thing that I was talking about earlier, which is the notification system, I think because I have probably some sort of a memory leak, the app gets destroyed in the background, like killed in the background because it's using too much memory at once. And which is not the case, but then, that on paper. And therefore, the notification system that is supposed to run through the timer that is inside of the app while it's running in the background gets killed as well, and therefore the notification don't go through. But the notification schedule that is defined by the system for every day at 10:30 runs because um, it's something that is system based, and regardless of if the app is dead or not dead, still run through. So that's the thing. On another note, I have changed and added some teeny tiny design choices when it comes to here, meaning that the buttons right now are not deciding, but like liquid glass E, and they are defining the sheets in the more simpler way than what we had before. Before it was basically calculating what time of day it is, what time of day did the user like click on the thing, and what did they enter in their timeline, and then at high, we'll go on in. Uh, and then they provide the right sheet. Right now, it's just like there is four in a row, and then it's just cycling until you don't have any perfume in your testers. So that's one of the thing. The other thing that I kind of changed is some of the animations related to this section and some of the animation related to this section, plus some of the details here for the notes. The notes were not this cute before, and so now that is a tad better. The button at the bottom are also a bit different, so that's gonna happen. That change it's fine, and yeah, I think that's mostly it. And I went back to change some of the designs here and there, but it's just like something's missing. Something's missing in my enjoyment of the builds, like the process of building, which is really sad. And yeah, it's just yeah, it's a situation. I'm gonna say that it's a situation, and we'll see when that situation ends. As said, the fact that I have reduced to half of what was supposed to be taken, based on my cardiologist recommendations, right? Mizzy, hi, welcome in, is kind of helping in a way, but not entirely. So that's something that might make me think that this is gonna be good for later, not having like anything anymore, getting back some of the fucking life and energy during the day is something that's probably gonna be good. But yeah, you're not the only one, is he? to miss it by a hair. So we'll see if it's rigged today. I don't think it is, but maybe it is. We never know. We never know. You know, it's not. Goddamn. So yeah, that is the situation. We have most of the things running, which is pretty good and working, which I'm happy with. But there is also a lot of things that needs to happen in order for the app to be much better. So yeah, this one is okay. I I want to add stuff that are too complex for my brain. That's the thing. I I want to have something like, for example, um, here, right there. I want to be able to get something in the sense of add a perfume through a picture. So you take a picture of the bottle, and the app scans the name, the brand, look into the database. If it finds something, it adds from the database. If it doesn't, it pre-filled the form, and so on. So that would be pretty good. But also, I it feels wrong. I'm also missing content when it comes to what is currently in the database. The system is good, but it's also like, uh, um, sorry for the autofocus situation. Yeah, no, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Like this section of the add through taking a picture is a pretty useful thing, right? Add from picture, it makes sense. But it also will be an issue at many times because it just doesn't work. Like you will only have your um, brand name and perfume name in the form because that's what it is on the front of the bottle usually, but not the notes, not the content, not the perfumer, not the year, nothing. So you would need some sort of an API situation where it goes through a search, but I can't do that because I don't have a database that is like reachable online per se that could have like an API or something, which is something that Stony could help with me with, I'm sure. That I could run like a some sort of a personally built endpoint database situation where I store all of the perfume data that I need to have, and then the app can just connect to that instead of connecting to CloudKit. But if I do that, I'm losing some of the privacy that is native to iOS. That's kind of sad, but the thing is, I can't, as a designer, I can't really work through the system that is in CloudKit to add data. Something doesn't work, so I had to build myself like my own admin section so that I can just, get in, check the in review situation, make sure that the data in there is good, not good, check the entirety of the content, update it, save that, refresh, and so on. Like something that is more visual than what I have in CloudKit. I had to do that, but also it's just like not good. So yeah, all of that is a lot of work for no real output, at least not for now. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of things. The app works. That's the thing. The Japanese app as well needs to be updated, and so far it's not updating. So yeah, I need to update the Android version. I need to update the iOS version as well to make sure that they are the same, and I can't do that right now. So because I'm working on this one, I wish I could. I wish I could. It's really sad for me to go back to this one and see basically the fact that it's good. What made it interesting in the first place was the navigation at the bottom. A lot of people like that, and the concept of the navigation being kind of bent and so on. But if I want to update it to the latest version of iOS, I need to lose that whole system at the bottom. And that just doesn't seem like a good idea. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but I need to update it at least to add like the two new dictionaries that I was supposed to work on and potentially change some of these things. But yeah, it is kind of wild. It's taking a lot of time. That's the thing. Most of the apps that I have, again, this app specifically has been built in November last year. Basically, I started in October and I released it today last year, or in 2 days. So it's been a year since it's been live. It has given me some money to pay back what I've spent, which is good. So it's like break even situation. Um, and the other one is just brand new. It has like 3 months. It's been live for a month ish, and it hasn't paid back anything yet. So we'll see. I'm doing what I can, but I can't do everything as a single person on this one. And as I said that many times, it's the same thing as being a designer in the design file. The more I look at it, the less I like it because it's just I'm in it all day. So I see the details, I see the thing that don't work for me every time, every morning, every day, every time I rebuild the app, I see something that just doesn't make any sense anymore. But for someone that is brand new and have never used the app before, it's fine. It's working well. It does everything that it needs to do, and like that's the situation. But yeah, needs to take some time to think about that. Um, but we'll see. Like this one is kind of weird, but also it's not wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, we've had like nothing else, to be honest, that happened in the past, and I've just been working on this to make sure that I have as much features as I can have. Um, but yeah, that is the current situation. So yeah, as I said earlier, easy before you came back, if you planned on subbing, don't resub for December. Probably won't be here for December, so that's not necessarily the good timing for a resub. But yeah, we'll see when that happens, if that happens. Um, and yeah, that is the situation. That is the current situation. Chris, hi. I don't know. I don't know. I know that I have my sister that is coming to Paris. I know that I have the family stuff that are related to December. Um, and yeah, I'm probably needing to take a break apparently based on recent activities or non-activities. Uh, like there is so much that I need to work on that I can't because I don't have the brain power to do so right this instant. We talked about that, and we talk about that almost every time now. The entirety of the icon section on the BOM UI kit, which is right here, but that's not going to work today, as expected. Um, mhm. All of that needs to be updated. I have this that you have never heard what it is before, that needs to be updated as well, so that it can be integrated into the UI kit. And I also have all of this that needs to be updated in order to go into the UI kit. But I can't. Like, it's so much content. And I'm currently here. I'm standing on this section. I have all of that to ensure works and is transferred properly. And so far, uh, it's just, I don't know. It takes so much brain power right now for me to just go into something and attempt to change stuff. It feels like such a waste of time to be inside of Figma for the output goal that I have for this. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit big motivation situation, right? Where my brain is telling me that this is not worth it, and my brain is telling me that this is necessary. So it's a bit contradictory at that time. So yeah, I need to take the time to work on all of these things, make sure that I have all of the things that are supposed to happen happen and be defined properly. And then once that would be done, I would have the ability to just come back to other things, um, you know, the usual. But so far, at least, we have stuff that needs to happen that can't happen. Yan, hi, walk on in. How are you? How's the day going? I guess this is gonna be here to make more sense. How's the app situation from last week? From 2 weeks ago. How's that going? Is that going? that's the most question. I don't know if half a point is gonna be enough. You know what? It's fine. um. Ah, I I have it. It's right there. I've tried it. Nothing really came up. I'm kind of rusty when it comes to Photoshop, so I was expecting to not be as good as I thought I would. Um, but yeah, that seems much better. Oh, that is good news. That is good news. Yeah, I do agree that this for the use case of print, right? For what it's supposed to be for, as in photo, vectors, and layout for writing and print and so on. Yes, 100%. This is really good. Also, this is currently like jumping, and that's it. It's not. Obviously, when I start, it just does the thing. Anyways, the overall system is pretty good. I do like the interface. I do like what they have in there because it makes sense. It is Photoshop based, so we recognize the at-home situation. So that's good. Um, I don't think like I think I used this one before as as an intro situation to just see how it works and so on. And I like the idea. I like the concept. It's very similar to like the new Figma stuff, right? The fact that you have the ability to go into Figma Draw, into in dev mode and design mode and so on, like all of that makes sense. But it's just something just feels wrong. And yeah, I didn't know they didn't have like a component stuff. I'm guessing there is some smart object similar to what Photoshop has. I mean, for print, for layout, the ability to have like header and footer and paginations and so on in your master pages. That is probably like, like that makes sense. It's a bit of a component-based system, but it's also not a component-based system. So I get it. But yeah, like that's yeah, I mean the smart object that we used to have in Illustrator and Photoshop when I started, um, it made sense. But like right now, this thing is pretty good. It does like a very good job at playing with like layout based content and presenting it in a way that just someone new would understand and not have really an issue with understanding what is happening. Why is this happening? So that's a good thing. But it's also like a lot of this preview thing doesn't really contain anything that makes any fucking sense. Like you have an image right here, and the thing that is on top is not really on top. It's it's that object right here, which is a group of stuff. And yeah, the overall system that they have presented is Photoshop E, Adobe E to me, in a way that is like too much. And so I'm missing some things. I was expecting to be able to do things faster with this because I have like all of that. That's not going to load. I have all of that that basically needs to be restructured, exported in multiple sizes, and so on. And right now, the system or the thing that I wanted to have, because each of these are like 1,000, like 1024 by 1024. That's the Canva that I'm using every time. I kind of want to make sure that I'm not exporting empty pixels for no reason. So I need a workflow that will just basically resize each of them to their closest bounding pixels box thingy. This is something that Figma cannot really do. And so having the ability to do that with Affinity was the plan, but I just can't figure it out because I haven't had the brain power to do anything. So yeah. This one is bad. I think I need to find a better one because we don't cut like this one is just one we have in Unsplash, and we don't cut pineapple like this. So I need like maybe a full circle, something else. We'll see. But nonetheless, in the beginning, Affinity was that for me. I was thinking about using the pixel section to use um, batch actions. Yes, that's the name. So I don't know. I haven't checked that. I'm guessing, I mean, specifically for the text and the content, I'm guessing that most of the things right, are supposed to be. Is that an image? God, they are supposed to be some sort of a layouted situation. Um, so you probably select or define like your master page here with your layout and what's the grid, what's the content, how does it behave, and so on. And then in the page itself, you would have the ability to just manage all of that and play with all of that. I mean, that's my understanding. Um, but yeah, it's just like something is just not familiar enough anymore for me to be like, oh yeah, 100%, that makes sense. I would need to spend like a day and a half fully immersed in it and try to have like a goal. But again, as I said earlier in the stream, I tried, and because I didn't really have any fucking goal or output of things to do, things to achieve in there, it just didn't make any sense for me to try to figure out the app. I need to know how it works as a general term, but like based on what I'm able to see right now, it looks like a very native Photoshop environment. So as long as you understand your keystrokes and behaviors, you should be good. And nothing else is in need of change or learning. Like everything is pretty clean. But yeah, that's the current situation for me. I don't really know. That's crazy. Uh, I don't really know like how I can output something with this if I'm not like, how could I say that? If I don't have a goal, like a specific goal for this. Um, like I'm just touching things and it doesn't make any sense. But yeah. Um, yeah. Again, as you said in the beginning, this is much better, specifically the layout section. It is much better for anything that is print related, uh, InDesign layout related. So for a business card, that kind of makes sense. You have something that is related to what your printer is going to be able to produce, whereas here you are stuck with a 772 DPI thing. You can't really go higher unless you export bigger. So you do a 2x to get like a bigger DPI, but then that also doubles the pixel counts. So it's really bad. So if I wanted like this thing is going to be exported at 24 by 24 as a 72 DPI, so I want this at like 300 DPI, I need to basically 5x this entire thing. So it will export this at 1,000 by 1,000 roughly, and that's not what we want. So yeah, that is also very true. Yes. I mean, personally, I feel like photo editing for base photos is going to be pretty simple when it comes to affinity compared to Photoshop itself. Pixelmator is pretty good as well. I don't remember if it's free now that it's been acquired by Apple. I don't know. Maybe it comes built in the new Macs. I doubt it. I doubt it. But yeah, it's going to be much better for pixel and photo editing. It's going to be much better for layout builds. I still feel like it's slow, and some things in there like don't necessarily behave as I was expecting them to behave. Obviously, I'm, you know, trying to do stuff, but also like it's kind of weird to me that I can't really touch the stuff that I want to touch in many places. And the shortcut that I have in my head don't work anymore. They don't do the thing that they are supposed to do. So yeah, that's kind of weird. Nonetheless, yes, Figma is going to be easier for anything that is. I think Figma is going to be better, at least from my point of view, for anything that is related to vector-based creation. Just before, like, layouts. Yeah, anything that needs to be like an illustration. So for me, I feel like anything that is around here gonna be easier to go to in Figma, or do in Figma and then import here as an SVG or something. But again, like I understand the main point of Figma and the main reason why they are adding all of these things underneath and the other tools and so on is because they want you to remain and stay in one tool. Same thing in Affinity, they want you to remain in one tool. So they give you like the vectors, they give you the pixels and the layout and other things if you want the other things, the retouching, slices, color grading, and so on, can be added. I obviously removed the AI stuff because I don't have a pro subscription, so I could 100% just add all of that and get access to color grading, which is really useful. The retouching for pictures is the same thing. And the slice overall is kind of the idea that I had to reslice things for all of my images. But because it doesn't seem to have the batch script that we have in Photoshop, at least from this point of view, I don't see any batch options. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Um, I didn't touch Photoshop either in like more than 6 years. So yeah, yeah, I would love to take a look at that. Yes, for sure, for sure. But yes, the Affinity is pretty cool. I do think it has good timing overall. I feel like this is gonna be how you want them to be in the future in terms of tools that are for designers, and a lot of these things are going to be useful, but it's going to take a while before people are willing, yeah, before people are willing to just go for it. So we'll see. We will see. What are these? Interesting. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. It looks unscented now. Oh, goddamn. I feel like I'm this close to redo the entirety of the first 5. Some of them are good, but like most of these things, because they have been outlined already, I'm kind of fucked. So I might have to do that to ensure that everything is working properly and that I need to work on these. That makes no sense. These makes no sense. Yeah. They also, everything has the names, but the names don't make sense. So some of them are named vector, some of them are named union, and so on. Have a good drive. So that's kind of bad. Let me see, can I do that? Oh. No. That might be the way on this one. To achieve something that is similar to what we have here. Right? That's the point. That's the point. If I get this, and then I get that, that might be a bit tight, to be honest. And then that. Maybe. Was not supposed to happen, but it still happened. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I mean, why not? It's kind of the same design that we had earlier, so that's fine, but it's not great. It's fine, but not great. This one is complicated. I had a bit of an issue with it in the beginning when I tried to do it the first time, and then I gave up because it has something that is missing. The issue that we have here is the fact that this is supposed to be the architecture or the designer house related, and so it has very specific lines and but the output of that as a solid piece is way harder than I expected it to be. And I thought maybe if it was deconstructed like the A-frame situation where the top is not really connected, but you can understand that it is connected, could be interesting with the slant right here. But then when I'm doing this, the window that is the first floor or second floor, depending on where you live, the floor, wide glass situation would need to go lower, and therefore it's going to be way too close to the door, and we lose some of the details. So the other option that I have is to do reverse or an inverse like I did here, but then we lose a ton of the details. So that's the current situation. I don't really know what to do with this one. I'm not gonna lie, it's just not working as expected. Especially if I just invert it. So inverting it would give us this, right? Ah, for fuck's sake. Every time. Figma changed the shortcuts, and I don't know why. It went from Command Shift O to outline the thing to Command Alt O in my keyboard, and now I'm just, every time I'm trying to do an outline, it just doesn't make any sense because it's not working. Not working. The thing that I was saying is that if you do not that, if you do this, you get the outputted, the outlined version of, and it's okay, and it kind of works based on the rest of the buildings, but there is still something that is missing, and I don't really know what is actually missing from my point of view that just makes it not make any sense. I don't know if it's just a matter of, oh, the frame is too big or something, or it needs to be filled, maybe. Um, you know, maybe that's the situation. Maybe that's what I'm looking for to make it make more sense. I don't know. It still feels wrong. Still feels wrong. So, yeah. I I don't disagree. I don't agree either. I don't really mind. Yeah, hi, welcome on in. How are you? How's the day going? I don't, and Red, welcome on in. I don't I don't mind the the lack of light. I'm still French and living in Paris, so 80% of my year is just like, gray. So it's fine. I'm not really complaining about that. What bothers me is the wind. And it's just because I have like there is one reason for this. I'm gonna explain in a second. There's one reason why the wind is pissing me off. Not because I'm outside, um, but because the wind is moving pieces off my roof and it's making noise that just piss me off all day. Other than that, I don't mind the wind. But like, if the roof is fixed, I'm good with it. I don't care. It's really fun for me to go into the gym at 6 in the morning and then everything is fucking dark. Um, and like that happens. But yeah, I do need more green. I need more color in general. But it's also a thing that I've seen today. It's also one of the spiral of me being like kind of, I would say, depressed, even though I don't think so, but maybe, probably. We never know. Um, some of the designers that I'm following on, I mean, not following, but like seeing on my feed most of the times, let me see if I can find one, have something uh, that that is not where I'm supposed to go. God dang. Am I gonna be able to see that? I doubt. Hmm. I doubt. There's a guy that is releasing an app and he's doing like a ton of very good overall marketing stuff on TikTok specifically. And so that is pretty good, but also I don't understand why it's working when it comes to its content. So I need to very look at it. But yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to find it here. That's not going to be an option. I'm going to need this instead because that's going to make more sense. It's going to be faster. I mean, I think it's going to be faster. Um, Also, my phone is in Japanese, so I'm having a bit of a hard time. What is this? Um, the spiral in question is gonna make sense in a second. Um, I should just look for that on Google, to be honest. It would probably be faster, but we never know. We never know. Am I gonna be able to see it though? that's one of them going in the likes. And see if I can find the second one. I feel like it's been like 3 days, so that's not true. It's been like 5 minutes at most. Um, oh, goddamn. Obviously, as always, when I'm looking for something, I really can't find them. And it just, this is not logical behavior for anything. Basically, the issue that I have is that and it's a personal issue as a psychological issue, not necessarily a truth, right? It's a me thing. Um, but when I'm looking at some of the designers' content on the internet, I'm like, I can't really do the same thing because my environment is not like a designer environment. I don't have design posters. I don't have colors on my walls. I don't have books on a shelf for design related content because it doesn't help. But it doesn't help me. However, it does help for curated content. Um, when you have like a background that makes sense and that speaks to the people, the type of people that you're trying to talk to, or talk with, or be referenced in by, it just make more sense. But yeah, I don't know. I know it's a wild thing to say, but yeah, that one specifically is one that I don't really understand because when I'm looking at his video specifically, he's building apps, right? That's fine. That makes sense. And the content itself, when you're looking at it, is a voiceover of shots that are the same in every video. And so that's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me. But also, it is one of the spiral in question. When you go to his profile, and if I'm going through some of the first video I've seen, or some of the thing that we have, there is or there has been a ton of his video that start exactly the same with the exact same shots. Like these 3 shots of him looking at his computer and doing absolutely nothing, from what I can tell. But just using that as B-roll for the voiceover doesn't it doesn't seem appealing to me. That's the reason why I don't have these types of content, because it doesn't really make any sense. But apparently it is appealing based on the way that that person is getting received on socials and so on. Like you see, like these 2 things, they are the exact same, almost the exact same video shot by shot, in 2 different environments just to check things. I don't know. Nonetheless, when you're looking at the environment in which the videos have been filmed, there is a lot of very interesting things in the background that makes the video interesting. And that's the reason why I also feel like, I'm guessing this is some sort of an imposter syndrome situation, because I don't have that in the background of my videos that would make it more appealing. But obviously this is like not necessarily his house. It's probably like a co-working situation where he can film in there and so on, but it just doesn't feel right when I'm looking at the videos and I'm trying to decode them and understand what needs to happen in my personal videos to make them more appealing and more interesting. But yeah, it's kind of weird. So that's the thing that I was going through earlier. No, I thought about a green screen, but I hate green screen video. I've seen so many fucking green screen videos of designers that just don't make any sense. When I'm looking at like MDS, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find MDS on this. Like it's basically the same thing. All of his videos have this really interesting camera shots, which is like not necessarily shot on a phone, which makes sense, but it's interesting, but also it is educational in a way that doesn't work for me. In these ones kind of make sense. The ones that are like this is roughly what we have right now. So it's something that I can do because it's the type of shot that I can have overall. But it's not like it's a I again, it's a psychological thing, which is like me being stuck right now in the motivation that I have and the willingness to do stuff. But also, this is what pisses me off most of the time. You have to set up your shots. And as I said, this camera doesn't move from wherever. Like it's there. It's never um stuck. I'm stuck indeed. For soup. Just for soup. Nothing else. Uh but yeah, it's kind of annoying to me because my brain knows exactly what needs to happen. ADHD related stuff. I don't have the motivation and the willingness to do the thing that I need to do, even though I know exactly what needs to happen. And again, stock, 100%. Like doing this pissed me off. Doing this is a waste of time in my brain. Of setting up the shots, making sure that you have the right angles, the right things, the right whatever. It makes the content more engaging, which makes sense. But also, it's just so much, so much content, so much work to achieve like a video of like a minute. So that makes more sense to me. I'm just filming at my desk, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't really work. And having a green screen, the green screen thing in TikTok basically by default is good enough ish. It's not bad, but it's not the worst thing. And then just having like a chat right here makes also a lot of sense. So, that's the easiest thing. I mean, doing this, by the way, doing this one, for example, is the easiest type of video, but it doesn't perform as it should for many reasons. Because it doesn't look neat. I could have screen recorded that and instead of filming it, imported the video. But no. So it like I just don't want to spend time in defining the shots more than creating the video, and that's basically my face every time I have to do something. I'm like, oh, that's the fun. Um, yeah, I mean, I tried. So I the same boat as you, I'm guessing. Kinda, not really, because I've done shorts video for the past 3 months now. I've been doing consistently every day at least at least one video per day on TikTok. Just, you know, going through things and making sure that, things work and so on. But so far, hmm, not so good. Uh, Yeah, I do the faces on purpose. I'm trying to get like the frame that is the worst frame for my face as as often as I can, mainly because no one is gonna see this. Right. At some point I added like some titles and then that pissed me off as well. So I stopped doing that. But yeah, it's just like no one is seeing this. No one is going to your account most of the time to watch all of your videos. They're probably gonna find one of your video in their feeds and then, be done. So yeah, I'm trying to get like the thumbnails that just grab the attention the most. This one, again, the this face right here is getting traction. It's one of the most viewed video in that feed, like 663 is a lot compared to the regular 300 views. There was another one, which is the heavily light one, like this one, which is really bad because it's just like light on, face on, and so on. Just had like 200, 100 more views than regular just because of that. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of views don't count, anyways. It's the view time that counts. So that's something. And then I don't think I agree with the winter seasonal depression. Um, for me, personally speaking, like it's not necessarily something that happens to me or happened to me in the past. Maybe it happens this year, and that's the first year. That's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, going back to creating content, I've been doing these things for like 3 months ish every day, which is fine. I'm publishing them or republishing them in order, kind of, on YouTube Shorts on my personal account for now, just to see if that does anything. Some of them had 300 views ish, and the others are like 2 views for no fucking reason. So that happens. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same situation. I'm just testing things out. And the creation of content when it comes to like more polished video, when mm, mm, I don't think that's going to be the thing. I think it's just it needs to go through that. These ones, for example, the one that are in the that's the wrong queue. The ones that are on my channel right now, um, are fine. But it's the same thing. I don't want to move the camera angle because it just doesn't help. And yeah, it's not long form per se. It's like short form in long form format. So that's the reason why it's not necessarily working. Um, but I don't know. Content building is not I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not the worst thing to do. But yeah, I hate scripts. I get it. I get it. But for example, I had one person commented on this one, for example, and this one is a scripted um, from Japan thing to basically explain the entirety of Radix UI and specifically the color of how it works, how it's used, and how you should use them if you use Radix in your color scheme. And it is like an on purpose planned situation where I have a script, I have a Figma prototype that goes through all of the steps of everything that I'm working and talking about. So I'm just like touching you know, the the Stream Deck or clicking with the mouse and so on so that it moves the thing on the side. It's too much work for the output that it is, to be honest, for me, from my point of view. It's just, it's good, but it's a waste of my time. And so the script, the creating the script and reading from the script and or like expanding on just doesn't cut it for me. Something is just missing. And so I've done my best for all of the bootcamps video that are on YouTube right there, um, to have some sort of a script to, like write them in a way that makes sense. And basically what I did is I wrote the entire script for the entire bootcamp, and then I outlined specific sections and re-scripted this entire thing. but it just doesn't make sense to me. Like something doesn't click, something didn't work. And as I said before, like these colored these ones right here, from this one to here, were done in basically one morning. Um, you can basically tell when that happens. So all of the very bright green, these five have been done on one go, on one morning. I had small scripts done for what I wanted to talk about, recorded the thing, edited it without really editing it because it's just like removing some of the filler words and some things, and then moved on to the next morning, filmed the entire next things, like the blue ones, and then the next morning all of the purple ones, and that was it. And that gave me enough content for like a few days, or basically a few weeks. And then I gave up because something just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't have, in my center self, like personally speaking, it doesn't have the enjoyment factor of the creation. Like there is a lot of people that are doing YouTube and other content creation because they love editing videos and they love to do that. And I used to when I was 10. I used to edit like my skating videos. I used to do some AMVs and so on. So that's like a lot of things that I used to do to make sure that I have like the beats of the music and the punch of the anime. You know, I mean, you know how AMV works. Um, so that's the type of thing that I used to do. But now it's draining more than anything. And I don't know. To me, it's a waste of time. And the other thing that kind of pissed me off on this one is like the the videos that were getting some tractions are the one that just doesn't make any sense to me. Um, like it's the content that I didn't want to do, but I just did because it was the content that was popping off at the time. And so these ones, the green one, have the most views overall because they touch on AI coding. Um, and so every time someone looked for AI, they would find one of my video and so on, and that pissed me off. So, you know, like that is the situation. But yeah, I really did choose that same thing. Like I want the thumbnails to look as bad as possible, so that it just on the home feed it feels like a in the middle of the conversations stuff. It's attractive. I mean, it's attractive. No, it's distracting, and therefore you click on it. That's the plan. But yeah, we need new hobbies. The thing is, again, going back to what we said earlier, in terms of what needs to happen in the world, in this society right now, if I have a new hobby, I need to create content around the hobby itself. And that on its own pissed me off. That's also one of the reasons why I'm not looking for anything new because I I don't want to find something that is enjoyable, have to turn it into good content in order to get paid to an extent, and then start hating it, which is what happened with design. I loved it for a long time, and then I started doing content about it. Now it pissed me off. I just don't want to spend any seconds designing for myself or for a lot of other people, unless I'm paid for it, which is fine. Um, but I'm fine with reviewing because reviewing is another sort of design in a way. But then it goes back to some of my early, early assessments, which goes back to when I went in school for design. I taught things to my teachers because they were out of the loop for a long time and they lost a lot of the learnings things. And I have now, since then, kind of lost a lot of my knowledge on the new tech and the new stuff. So, eh, it's just that is one of the reasons that pissed me off as well. Um, like if I was still working in a company, I would be up to date on anything because I don't have a choice. Um, but because I don't do that, yeah, yeah, that as well. But also not really. I mean, kinda, but not really. But yeah, I thought about it. I think yesterday. I don't think there is anything else right now in terms of job. I know that is appealing to me. Like there is nothing at all. Content creation, design related, woodworking, gardening, becoming a painter, raising chickens, like there is nothing that just like gives me any spark of maybe. Not even maybe, like it's just like nothing is giving me anything. So it's really complicated right now. Um, like nothing is motivating. Maybe it's just the season, but also it's been like this for 2 years, so it's not necessarily a season. Uh, more than 2 years. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just lost, maybe. I guess. I guess the lost phase is happening, which is it's fine. I guess. But yeah, uh, I don't know. It kind of happened. Like the illness took a hit, both of them. Um, the job market took a hit as well. The financial situation took a hit. Like it's you can't really smack me more in the face than that. So yeah, I just don't know at this instant. I just don't know. Nothing is enjoyable. So yeah, that's also a very good thing. Or very true thing. It's just everything is accumulating on top of each other. And as we said, right, I'm working too much, but I also can't work as much as before. So I'm still like, I have, as I said, I have like the stream because I'm still doing that for now. I have the design related stuff. I have the UI kits because now there is multiple and you only have one. I have the apps. I have the agency stuff that also works, kinda, but needs to be worked on. The videos that I'm making on TikTok as well for the content creation. Um, the learning of the code kinda on the side, not intensively, but like kinda intensively learning of Japanese because I'm still doing that. And all of that like is accumulating so much that I don't know. And I don't know if, like, again, that's also something that is kind of saddening. Saddening? Yeah, making me sad. I guess that's fine. I don't know if going back to Japan would fix this. Like finding a job in Japan. I mean, finding a job would probably help, but finding a job in Japan and moving back might fix things, but there is so much stuff coming up on top with the health insurance and the health related issues that just the more I'm staying here, the least I want to go back anywhere outside of France because right now, what I have, the medications and thing that I need to take is free. So I don't need to think about it. If I go back to Japan, I would need to pay roughly $300 a month, which is nothing compared to other countries, but it's still way more than free. So, it's not great. And specifically now, the fact that most of the newest entities in the Japanese politics sphere are kind of anti-foreigners. I'm still white, so that helps, but I mean, white passing, but you know, it doesn't help that much, which is good, but it helps a lot, but not that much. Um, so it's a lot of things. It's a lot of accumulations. I agree with that. And I don't know what I can do. Like that's the thing. I don't think you said break earlier. I don't think a break would help. Um, that's also a personal thing. Like it's a force of habit situation where in the past, every time I took vacation, um, nothing changed after. Like basically the vacations or the breaks that I took reinforced the idea that I had before. So, for example, um, my previous company, I took a break, and that enforced Mint. Welcome back. How are you? How have you been? That reinforced the idea in my head of, oh yeah, that I need to get out of this thing because it makes no sense. And then um, when I came back from the break, I just quit. Basically, a week later, I was like, well, yeah, no, that pissed me off. Uh, I wasn't like I was paid well, but the environment, the coworkers, and so on. And yeah, just like that was so bad. And it's not that I fear that it will happen again, but I fear that it will happen again in the same sense that I'm currently not working on design tools, right? Not working in Figma. And every time I go back there, I'm like, this is a waste of time. This shouldn't exist. The design tool should not be there. There should be something else that just is better for designers than what we currently have. And I don't know what it is, but something is bothering me, and I haven't found a way to express what it is just yet, which makes it more frustrating than anything. So, yeah. Um, yes, Mint. I have. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I like everything they've done with the variations. Welcome back. With the variations of stuff for specifically for the I'm gonna have to type Google Stars Flex, right? Everything they've done, specifically the presentation of all the viabilities and all the options is really, really good. Their rounded version is pretty clean. Obviously, everything that is in the presentation tools is really neat. And yes, because it's a Google font, you have access to all of that. Not the effects, but like all of that. Um, for free. Kinda. Um, but yeah, no, it's pretty good. The output is based on the material design expressive. So they had one goal to make the most flexible font possible. So that it's just like one font used in the system, and then the user can do whatever the fuck they want with that font if it matches their ideas of what is good. They can. So yeah, that whole thing is overall really good. And like specifically this view, I think that's one of the one that I've seen that gives you all you need for everything. Like the the fact that you have very heavy text, very thin text, very rounded text, and then optically aligns things means that you can switch stuff with your optical to be your main text and your width, like extended, not condensed, like the opposite of condensed, to be your titles. You have like some hierarchy that is done with this, which makes a lot of sense. You can have your optical and your weighted um, options, like the heaviest options of there. So all of that is really, really cool. And I do like everything they've done. But yeah, it's there. I mean, it's what we have here in the preview. I don't know if it contains all of the rounded and such, but at least from, I mean, it's supposed to. So, you know, yeah, you have viable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's neat. You know, it makes sense. So yeah, you can really have good stuff. Um, yes, please do. So yeah, I've seen that earlier. Yes, today, this morning. I think this morning. I think I've seen that this morning, and I don't think it's gonna take over um, Inter for designers. I think it's gonna be one of these things similar to the IBM font. Is it IBM Flex? I don't know. uh, yeah, I don't know if it will like take over. I doubt it, mainly because it has too much. That's also one of these situation when I'm like, I have a feeling about that, and we're gonna see what happens. But for the fonts that I have and the designers that I've worked with in the past, the more viability a font has, the least it is appreciated by the designers while using inside of a project. And the reason for that is because of viable fonts and how it's put in place. Most of the devs and the designers that are like not necessarily inside of the font all day make a lot of mistakes when it comes to the creation of a view while maintaining the hierarchy of information. And so, with a font like this one that has so much potential viability, I fear that a lot of designers will probably test it out, implement it somewhere to make sure that it, makes sense and so on, and then never touch it again. Um, so yeah, but it's not a bad font. Not a bad font. So yeah, I've seen that. I like it though. I like it. But then again, you're looking at someone that has a font folder that is 6 GB of fonts. So I like fonts. It's a lot of fonts. 6 gigs of fonts. It's a lot of fonts. God dang. Ah. That's cute. Let me put you in full screen. I I see some familiarities, yeah, in there, but that's really good. Let me put you there. That's what I was expecting. You break really fast. That sounds specific and targeted. No, you break really fast. I feel like under 1,000 pixels, like probably when you reach 900 or 800-ish, you end up in the tablet modes, which I get it, but yeah, um, not yet. Uh, it that's I mean I get it. This is really really tight right there, but there might be like a potential to reorder, but nonetheless, I just wanted to check the mobile version, which makes a lot of sense here. Um, it's interesting to see the differences in between like these two layouts. But if it's mobile first, that's pretty cool. If it's dev desktop first, it's really nice. Um, what I was about to say, and the reason why I checked on mobile is on desktop, I would potentially recommend you to get these six to take, like expand, to take the amount of space you have. So potentially having them in 2x2s on desktop so that you have like YouTube, Twitch, GitHub, Patreon, Discord, email as a six pack underneath you. So, you show your six pack underneath, whatever. Um, it could be better to not have like that kind of awkward empty space. Not that much of an important thing, but it could, you know, could be interesting. In here, my main issue with it is I I want this header to be aligned with this header, and I understand why that's not the case, but I want to just do that. So it's just a padding margin at the top of this one to, match the amount of text that you have here. If you want to make it fakely in a way that will ensure that regardless of what the screen zoom is from the user, you just add that element, that title, you add it here, and the text is just a space, like just a space character, will give you the exact same thing because it will take the font properties and so on. It would be hidden and invisible for most users, unless you just like, select the content and whatever. But that's could just help, and or removing the featured project title on its own to bump everything up. That could be something. Nonetheless, the fact that these two are videos, this is really cool. Not gonna lie on that. That's really nice. Um, and then you have articles, which I'm debating the URLs, but that's cool. See, going back to what I was saying earlier, your background is really cool, and obviously, having that as a backdrop for video, for the content, for so on, it just is more appealing for most people when you're presenting with good pictures and good quality media. It helps so much the viewers' engagement. So, yeah, like that makes so much more sense. Nonetheless, this is really cool. I'm not sure about this, personally speaking. I feel like that noise texture is a bit too strong. It has, um, unless it's on purpose, and uh, you might be in an agreement. If that's on purpose, that's fine. But it feels like this. It feels like a bad 3D print or 3D printer bed that has that grain that is like textured, and it basically looks like this to me, um, which is like an unpolished noise situation, and I don't know. It just something's missing. Something's missing to be a bit more working in my head. Um, but yeah, the other thing that I'm seeing is the fact that it is like not on the cards themselves. Like the cards are transparent, so something is weird to me. Um, but let me check. Let me see something. Um, that's your wrapper, and your transition is there. That's your content. So I'm guessing. I was about to say it's probably a for each situation somewhere that defines your background. Like that's your background here. Um, and oh fuck, what's the? Is it backdrop filter blur? Yes, that's it. Um, if you simply, if you do that, yeah, that's a bit better to me. I know. I mean, it's not much, but it just breaks from the background enough. It still goes with the effect and so on. So you can still see the noise through. But yeah, I don't know. That is a good question. That is a good question. I don't know. I do think it will take performance for sure. For sure. Apparently, I broke everything. Well, damn. What did you do? What did you do? I don't know. I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. It's working now. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I would change that background either to have like more transparency to make sure that it goes through, or and roughly, um, potentially. Do I have that? I don't. Why is one switch not on? Where you at? Oh, you right there. Did you do that? Nope, you didn't. Cool. Um, apparently, yeah, apparently just the having the blur just tanked the entire website. So that's bad. Nonetheless, the that's the only thing that I would potentially change to make sure that you have something that just raise the cards for your blogs so that people can really see that they are elevated and more important than the rest and so on. Um, these ones, I I fear, as always, I fear that this would be overpowering a lot if you make it, as I said, a 6-pack in like 2x2. So I could potentially say that this layout with a taller U on desktop might be a better option, so that you end up with uh, like maybe that amount of ratio overall, but above when you're on desktop, and that way that pushes everything down. Um, I feel like that would be better than this one like that. I don't know if I can do that. I doubt it. Again, as always, I don't think. Um, I don't think I have the size on this thing. So designer designer content. Uh, Potentially not like this, but yeah, I feel like if you have the picture that takes a bit of a taller aspect ratio, and then that section is expanded, these button would end up at the end. You would just have that section being flexible on desktop and fixed on mobile. I feel like that would be a better option, to not have that empty space. Again, I don't mind the empty space, and I really like this simple overall, like, you know, layout. Like, that makes sense. Like that. This was the initial ID for me. You had this card that was like kind of static, and then the projects would have been on the side. Sorry for the flashbang on this. Um, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. You still have like 10 hours, 20 hours. Yeah. That's not gonna happen, gang. But yeah, like that's the thing that I would have on the side to be a bit better overall, and you can have it as a sidebar max width so that you don't end up with like one of these issues, you know. Um, but yeah, no, that's overall that's really good. Um, mm-hmm. I see. I see. I see. What a concept. Um, as me, you know exactly what's gonna happen. Stony can tell it for you right away. That them radius right there. Nope. It's not much, to be honest. Your inners are currently set to. Where's your container? That's your container, flexbox. You have your div right here, and your rounded is just rounded, so it's rounded at 4, as far as I remember, for, yeah, 0.25. Meaning that your container, that thing right here, is currently with a border radius at 0.5, but because you have an inner padding of 1 rem, 2 rems, something, whatever, doesn't matter. You simply need 1 rem here, and at 1 rem, right there, it's not perfect, but it's better, you know. I saw you were playing Kiriko earlier today. Can't. But yeah, I know. I feel like 0.25 kind of helps. But then, you know, If you don't want a giant border radius, which is fine, and I get it. A lot of people don't like it. You know. Um, eh. I'm a Sombra main cat, so I piss off most people, and or a Diva main because you know, uh, yeah. Basically, the thing that I want for Overwatch, haven't played since Doomfist, so I haven't played since 2018. But the only thing that I want in Overwatch is speed. So Lucio, Diva, and Sombra have speed boosters. Pharah had kind of speed boost ish things. Um, and that's the only reason I played them. I know that there is like new ones like the ball is also kind of fast at times, but not that fast. Um, but yeah, I don't know the new heroes for Overwatch 2, so I can't really talk about that. But yeah, no, Sombra is just like once hidden has a speed boost, and it's just like so much more enjoyable to navigate the play faster. That's the thing. That is one of the reasons why I was attracted to Apex Legends because they are way faster than most of the things. As soon as you get like one of the acceleration pills called things, I forgot, you are like so much faster. So yeah, I like speed, all types. Going back to this though, if you don't want the bigger radii things, and you want to remain as clean as possible, right? So instead of having your border radius at 1.25 and you want to keep it at like zero point 0.5, which was your initial thing, 0.5 was your thing right there. Um, and then you have this, the the way the way to make sure that this is matching and keeping it at 2.5 is to make your card itself have less spacing, right? So have a good look. If you go into what is this thing? Oh, it's this. My bad. That's yeah. Your padding right here. You make it roughly like a 0.25 or something, so that it matches. You now simply have matching radius with the short radius that you liked earlier. And in order to make the things a bit better for the rest of the view, the one rem padding that you had, you add it to this section. Um, so that that flex grow situation right here, you just add a padding, which apparently you don't have, which makes sense. And I don't think I would be able to get that on all, but you have a 0.75 RAM that will basically go back to push your content where it needs to be or where it used to be a second ago. Um, kind of bit like the front is kind of annoying, but that's fine. And yeah, you get your overall layout with, um, you know, the thing that you wanted to have, less corner radius or similar corner radius, but at least you have matching radii in between your images and your container. So that's something that makes sense. There is some issues with, you know, the other cards for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's one way to make sure that you have like matching corners if you don't want to have like such massive corner radius on the outsides. But yeah, no, overall, real good. Just potentially this section on the side that might be necessitating a bit of a reorganization with simply doing the mobile version right there. And then based on that reorganization that I just said, maybe you could have this section being like less wide than what it is right now. So instead of this, you basically take two of these, right? We have right now, so 2/3 of what is the current size. So I don't know how much that is, but 2/3, and that would potentially give you the ability to get the articles into a 2-column situation. So, giving me 4 right away because this entire section is a bit wider. So maybe. I see. Alan, hi, come on in. It is. Can I span 3? No. Fuck. Oh. Isn't it the XL situation where I needed, say, L span 3? Nope, still no. These tailwind things, I don't know how to work them out. But yeah, like basically having that potentially being a tiny bit less wide could help. Just a smidge. But yeah. I would say that's it on this one. It's pretty cool. It's a good change from what you had before, and it's also, I'm guessing, matching some of these things as well. So, yeah. With what I said for the, like, the alignment, it kind of makes sense, but I also see your point. So what I said earlier was giving YouTube, Twitch on one row, and then GitHub, Patreon, and then Discord and email, because it's like video platforms, content platform, and communication platforms. But I understand your point of saying YouTube, Twitch, and Discord are social medias. GitHub, Patreon, and emails are community things. So they are like kind of different. And I get it. But yeah, like I mean, for me, that's what my brain said earlier. Like YouTube and Twitch are just video platforms. GitHub and Patreon is the content and community kind of thing. But Patreon and GitHub is basically community and the like they work together. But Discord and email is basically the communications entries, arrays, stuff. So the same name of a brand as well, Alan. So yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to have them like side by side in the first place, because in my head it makes just more sense to just get their purpose together. It's the same thing as the game where you need to select 4 words that are related together. I don't know. It's kind of the Wordle situation thing, but I'd never played it. I just seen people play it, and you need to find like the common thread. It's probably named common threads, whatever. That's the reason. Anyways, back there. That presentation video is kind of new, so that's fun. Also, the app here looks a lot more like what you showed me on mobile for a long time. So a lot have changed apparently on desktop from the initial version that I remember. I'm gonna complain about the app, not the not the not the landing page. But that's gonna take a second. That's still really cool. Nothing to complain about here. Um, mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. That's cheap. To be honest, that's really good. It's a good pricing model. I would say, as a non-business person, but business as well is important to me. Um, you are at the limit of the drowning. So what is the fucking name? When you have too much choices as a potential client, and usually it's like when you have four prices, your brain is like, what's best? I don't know. So, right, there is that the paradox of choice. Thank you. That's the first word I missed. I missed that. The fact that you have a free tier makes sense. The core tier makes sense. The pro tier is the medium cup in Starbucks, right? The one that is like, oh, it's just for $1 more, you get the ultra. So it's priced too close to the core, and the ultra is too far out to make um, the upsell, like, um, worth it. Like right now, the brain is saying 3, 4, or $10, like $5 or $10, and then 40. My brain is like, oh, 40 is a lot. I'm gonna take the $9 a month because that's the psychological thing. And if I buy a license, it's kind of the same thing. Like the pro, like from from the core to the pro, it is basically times two, so you double the amount. But from the pro to the ultra, it's not doubling the pro. It's a bit more than that. Whereas here, you double it, you get there. You double it, you don't get here. You quadruple it to get to ultra. So there is an expectation of ultra needs to be quadruply more interesting and better than the initial one. And it's not necessarily the case. It's just like storage ish. So, I don't know. But then the paradox of choice, going back to this, is not just because you have four, it's because you technically have eight. Um, and that is a lot. So I would potentially give you something as a monthly, yearly license as 3 buttons, and just like have these four cards update themselves, and potentially break your pro model to be a tad more expensive. Like maybe this one could be $19.99 and this one could be $170. That's one of the things. The other one would be to make this $29.99. and this one like 229 or 200 rounded, like 199 or something, so that in the eyes of the brain, in the eyes of the brain, good job, in your brain, you just go from, oh, that's so cheap, like that. I can just put $50 more and I get the Ultra. I'm going to take the Ultra. Like the deterrent of um, price is just like that's how it happens. So again, if I go back into our kings of this, which is this bitch right there, the SE is like $600, $500, I think. Um, as far as I remember. Yeah, 599 in the US. So for 599 you get the SE in the base level, right? And then for I think it's 650 or 750 something, you get, yeah, 799. So for from 599, which is basically 600, to 799, which is basically 800, but in your head is just 7. So for $100 more, you get the latest with everything. And so for 799, why not just take the Pro? Because the Pro is just like $1,000, and you're gonna pay 700 anyways. So, eh. But yeah, that's the pricing situation that we kind of want to have. Do we have like a fucking compare button? Thank you. Um, like that's what happened, right? You are $800, well, for $100 more or $200 more, you get the Air, which is better and better performance and whatever. It's not, but whatever. But then for $200 more, you get this. And in the realm of how much that is compared to the phones themselves, $200 is not much. If you want to go back down to your level of pricing, it's as if this was 7.99, as in $7 and 99 cents a month, and then they went from 7 to 9, and then they went from 9 to 10 or 12. So in your realm of pricing, it's just like, oh well, it's just $1 more expensive, basically. I'm gonna just upgrade. And then you're there and you look at the next one, you're like, well, it's just $2 more expensive. I'm gonna upgrade. So basically you are $4 more expensive here, and you are paying $4 more, and you have something that is better, but you have been conditioned into thinking that this was the best option. Same thing here. That's just doubled, and it's too far off of the Ultra. Um, so I would personally make the jump between Core and Pro being like drastic, and then from Pro to Ultra be like not as drastic. So if you go at $29.99, it's like, I see the jump between this and this because like, limit and so on. But then I see that the difference between $29.99 and $39.99 is just $10 a month. And I'm going from 150 gigs to 1 TB. I'm probably gonna do that. You know. No, 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 no. That's the thing. You don't want that. You want this thing to be exponential. So you want the jump from first one to second one to be normal, right? You go from 10 gigs to 150 gigs, that's really massive already, but it's not like, it's fine. Maybe you can change this to 1 terabyte for the self-hosting, so that it's just, it feels right. And then you go from 1 terabyte to 350 terabytes for $10 more. Like the mentality is just, oh yeah, no, that's a no-brainer. I'm gonna go for this one. Even if you have the Pro that is highlighted, you know. And if right now, again, if right now 999 is your like not break even, but you are still at a profit and you still have the inference and so on that is covered by this pricing, then if you make it more expensive, you get some profit on the side, But yeah, the curve, and I know that this is gonna not look like a practical thing, but you basically want this. You want your curve to be like this in terms of your pricing. So that's gonna be your regular thing, and you want each of these to be placed like pricing 1, pricing 2, pricing 3, and you kind of want to make that like this. So you're currently here, right? That's your instinct thing. So you have your price that is going really slowly up, and then for the ultra, you are roughly like really expensive because you are giving out a lot of things. Marketing is telling you do this so that the price increase is still not that much, but it's closer to here. And the quality you get as well is much, much higher. So you basically induce the fact that people will be, oh yeah, no, it's so close. It's so close in terms of price and so on, and I'm just gonna go there. And so that's the mentality, that's the thing that we kind of recommend. And it's the Starbucks cups situation. You've seen that before. Dang. Like these two are mostly the same quantity, but you're like, why not take the toll? I mean, as someone that doesn't go to Starbucks, but any other places that serves like smoothies and other things, if there is a tall one or the biggest size, I'm taking the biggest size every time. Not because I'm more thirsty than anyone, but it's just like I'm gonna have more for more expensive, yes, but I will have more. That's the same situation. Like you just want to have something in the middle that to be much taller. You mean like physically speaking? It is much taller. Um, but yeah, I do see your point that they could make it like that's kinky. They could make it thinner and taller with the same quantity. I think the reason is probably be like um, stacking them, but I feel like it's the same thing. So yeah. Nonetheless, you know, um, that's the base plan. it works. It's psychology. So yeah, I would just do that from my point of view. I would have monthly, yearly license, um, and license or self-hosting. I don't know, something like this that will just help you to go through these pricing easier rather than having to scroll. That way you can just load that page and the user have access to everything. Someone that is looking for self-hosting is looking for self-hosting. Like there is no regular person. I know, sorry, but there is no regular person that is looking for self-hosting anyways. Like it's either an IT person or someone that is building something on their own, but there is no regular HR department that might be interested in using this that will look for self-hosting. No, they won't do that. They will just like, you know, look for the prices and that's it. So self-hosting feels complicated, and therefore if you have that right here as a third option in that variation, that would be a very good thing to just not have to scroll. So that's my thing on the pricing. Nonetheless, I spoke a lot about pricing because I like that. But the homepage is pretty cool. The thing that I'm going to complain about is right here, or specifically right here. These overlay. I don't know if this is something that you have changed since. You may have. I do not know. But if you have white text on a transparent background, you need at least 60% black on top. So, presentation. If I have right here a text that is white, right? And that is going to be my overlay for whatever is under this. So this right now for you, for your situation, is, from my perception, roughly this. And so it's very simple. It has whatever it needs to have, but let's unsplash this real quick. Right? You have that, roughly, kind of. You can see how the text, which is currently a very white rectangle, doesn't really appear on that section of the picture behind it because it is white. So it's a white on white situation. Therefore, you can't see anything. Now, if I'm doing that in black instead of white as a base, and I'm making sure that at least 40 to 60% transparency is there, we have enough contrast ratio in any shape, any points, any whatever. It doesn't really matter. So that needs to be changed. That section here, that transparent bar, it has enough in the video that is at the top. It doesn't have enough in this video specifically, I think, or the other one, in this one. In this one, when it pops in right there, I'm losing readability on the title of the page, right when you scroll. Like right there. And if you had some black background transparency, which is usually what is recommended, I should have these two together. What is recommended is roughly 60% black. 40% is fine, but you will have some issues here and there in the sense that when the background is like pure white, it can still work, but for some people it's going to be hard. to kind of read and so on. So that's why we recommend like 60%. If you don't want to go too black, you can use 40, but careful with that. But yeah, like that's my main issue on this one. Nothing else though. Like the transparency is fine. It's a good thing. It's a good option. It's a liquid glass situation. No, it's not. But it's a glass situation, so I get it. That makes sense, but it needs a bit more contrast. Other than that, landing page is pretty cool. I'm really unsure now, um, because I also haven't read a single sentence in that landing page because obviously I can't. But um, it's a lot of it's a very much different app than what I remember it to be the first time you showed it to me. And right now I don't know if I understand what it does. So to recap, what I remember, which is not the case apparently, is you built an Obsidian clone. Like that was how I understood it. Not exactly, but like that was in my head. So in the first version, you had basically like an Obsidian clone to have your notes and your data and your files and your things everywhere, and using heaper or a heap tree sorting algorithm things to make sure that you have everything in whatever, as a heap work. Um, you had that. That was my understanding. Right now, what I'm seeing is that you have all of that, but in a more Pinterest-y Obsidian thing. So you went from manage your files and presenting files as files, and now you are presenting files as media file first, which makes sense. Again, going back to the initial discussion of me not knowing exactly what I'm going to do next year. Um, Images sell better than text because it's visual and people like kind of fuck with visual. So that makes sense. So yeah, um, that's an interesting thing. It's the same, but it's just presented mostly on image first rather than text first. Um, and I'm visually missing what you had before that was kind of looking like Obsidian environment with the right, the nodes. You had nodes at some point. I remember nodes, kind of. The brain mapping thing, but I don't. Maybe it's just my brain bringing some fake memory in, which happens at times. Um, you have a blog. Yeah, I do remember that. I was right. brain be brain be true. Brain be true at times. But yeah, no, nonetheless, it's a very interesting change of design. It has issues in the Rages department. As always, as one does, I get it. But yeah, there is something that just pissed me off with your overall spacing. That's a me thing. Don't worry about it. But yeah, the consistency in spacing is crucial for the brain um, to recognize the pattern and the layouts. So This is probably something that is like not necessarily going to be visible and also going to be a bit of a pain in the ass for you to figure it out. Right here, you have visually more space on the side than you have at the top. And it's not true. It roughly is the same amount, but you probably have something at 12 and something at 14. But because of that space here being like different than that space right there, you end up with a visual inconsistency that people's brain will say, oh, there is something that is not really equal on all sides for these buttons. That's the first one. The second one is because you have a scroll bar on the side and you are not using the overlapping scroll bar that are like basically right now you're using the Windows scroll bar that are there all the time and not the macOS scroll bar that are overlaying on top of the content. Um, so that creates this gap on the side that is kind of bad, and I don't recommend that. The third thing that I've seen is this. What the fuck is this? That really, really, you didn't want to you know just one of these. You, you know, just just an option. Can just do that. Got in, hi, got in. How are you? Kinda. Just do that. Do that because like mainly the issue is the fact that these two are not really the same. Um, that will help to visual stuff. Um, and then I have the same issue here, which I think from what I remember, and I forgot exactly why that is, but I think you have made different tags because uh, you have different use for them. So yeah, um, like mention is different than tags, but they are tags as well, kind of. Um, like, debatable, debatable. Other than that, good. Kind of, I'm still hating this space right there because it's just not doesn't match the rest. But other than that, that's good. The other thing that I had and wasn't really sure or certain about is this section. It has a handle at the top because you can grab it down or up from its um, basically initial point that is the smaller version, right? So you can extend it if you need to and so on. The thing that is kind of weird to me is these tools, they feel out of place. As in they are navigation based and so that makes sense, but they are contained inside of the main view, and what you're selecting here has tools around here, but there's something that is kind of weird in that behavior on desktop. Then if it's just on desktop, that might benefit from getting somewhere else potentially. I don't know, but yeah, potentially. The other thing that I'm seeing here specifically on that blurred section is that you could not need to, but could, make this blurred section a bit thinner with having the title, the handle, and the all section on the same line as a top section header situation, and then you have your buttons on the edges underneath that. That could help, but I'm guessing the reason for this is because that handle is like you have a handle that takes a very specific height. Um, so I get it. What? I get it. But yeah, no. Overall, I I would need to read. Um, yeah, but you can still grab it anywhere. Uh yeah, you can still grab it anywhere and have like an on drag. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't. I'm thinking in SwiftUI. In SwiftUI, you can have like the entirety of the cards being like an on drag, draggable element. And on tap, you have a different outcome. So based on the tap on the all, like the hotspot hit section, hit zone for the all, you would have opened the menu. But if I press and hold and then drag from all, it would be the same thing as drag anyways. Same thing for this section. Well, whatever. To me, everything is like that whole bar can be draggable if it's contained, and then on tab it has two different options. Like it's the same thing as. Do I have this? Yeah, kinda. Like if I no, not you. If I go there and I go in my manage section, like this one is I can click on it to, like basically have um, go to that folder specifically. And then if I drag, I would have the ability to just delete it from the row, which I'm not looking for right now. But yeah, that's the thing. So, eh, you know, maybe maybe an option, maybe an option. Um, I can load the app as in web version, or I can download the app from there. You mean here? I guess. iPhone is recommended. God damn. Let me do that. I should have done that directly on my computer. It would have been way faster. Way faster. The fact that you have it on the App Store is pretty good already. So, you know. Damn. My VPN is VPNing the download. God damn, that's slow. That is slow. I've been nitpicking for the past few minutes, so I'm gonna nitpick a teeny tiny bit more. When you look at the loading of this view, the video itself kind of glitches for a second and then it loads. You can avoid that by loading it underneath the view and then having it slide in after, if that's an option for you. So similarly to This one where I have all of my text load one by one, and then this one load only when I the image is loaded, like it doesn't show until it has been loaded in the background. You end up with something that is just easier on the eye than the flash of, oh, that thing just need to be there. So yeah, that's a small detail that could just help you to just have the thing just load in, slide in, and then that also implies that if you have like more 3D rotate while appearing, it also continue when the user is going to start scrolling. So you see the thing like slide in, stop at an angle, continue sliding. That's a really cool transition. It's small details. Small details. Let's see how it looks like. That was a glitch. That was a strong ass glitch. Mm-hmm. Oh, damn, that's square. I know you are against the overly rounded contents, but currently, right now on Apple overall design language, everything is extremely rounded. So I I see the roundness. Um, that's tiny. God damn. Oh, interesting. I mean, you have these buttons that are like fully rounded. So I would expect everything to be similar in terms of roundness, so that if you don't want like extremely rounded, I wouldn't have these buttons as well. Same thing, because that implies extremely rounded on everything. Um, because otherwise you end up with, I mean, not otherwise, but you basically need to end up with this in order to make your buttons to, match together and so on, which at the end of the day, um, just doesn't work. So you can have everything in not rounded, and you can use the square version. That's an option. That's a good option, to be honest. Like having these corner radius is pretty good, but it just needs to be consistent. So that rounded button needs to be square. That's it. So you already have the square behavior right there, and then like everything else is square. So I wouldn't, from my point of view, based on your specific uh, likeness, I wouldn't make anything more rounded than what it is already. I would just unround the thing that are fully rounded. So that button, that resume button, should roughly be the same corner radius, so that it just makes more sense. It's unified. I I think this is not supposed to be that high. I think this is like a z-index situation where this resume button is supposed to be based on the fact that I'm currently adding stuff. Uh, and it's the not close. Like, because I have shrunk, because I shrunked it, I end up with not having the view that I need to have. So yeah, small issues, but that's fine. That's good. That's good. I see the bugs. I see the bugs. Remember, something that is really important as well. I'm looking at it through the iPhone mirroring app, which means that there are some things that don't necessarily work if I run it on my phone. Like there might be some differences if I just have it on my phone compared to what I have here. Smidge of a difference, but still. So, don't take every bug as a, oh yeah, that's a bug that needs to be fixed. Maybe that's never going to happen or not happening in the real life just because on Mirror there is a lot of things that are not triggered, as in like, for example, the keyboard is not triggered. That maybe the placement is not right. All of that. All of that. Hmm. Hmm. It has a very distinctive, nope, distinct, distinct design language, which is pretty appreciated as a, again, as a designer from the outside world. It feels more conscious than some of the others app that I've seen lately, but also it. Sorry, it feels like an Android app ported to iOS. The design wise. So yeah, I don't think I can necessarily do any of that. Yeah, that's not gonna work. um, I mean, yeah, I would be able to, but I just can't because of how Mirror is working. So I'm gonna move there for a second. That way I can have access to the handle in a way that makes more sense. Um, yeah, that resizing is pretty cool. And the bouncy on the preview right there, I do like that potential transition. It's interesting that the box, before I tapped on it, didn't really load the text because it couldn't recognize the text itself. But yeah, that's pretty cool. The only thing that I'm unconfident about, but also it's because you're not using native thing, is because, or is the drag itself seems to be not necessarily like on on the view itself. So again, obviously biased. But if I'm here, wherever I am on this bottom sheet, if I drag down from right here, it's gonna go down. If I drag down from right here, it's gonna go down as well. So for you right there, it's like I would expect to be able to do that, to potentially drag the entire sheet down, but because you're not using like the native behavior, I need to be on the handle, which is fine. But it's just something that iOS people might complain about. but I know the complexity of that. Goddamn. I get it. Don't worry about it. It works though. It also has the tap on the handle to go up and down, which is pretty interesting. Um, it's fun to see that my picture is resizing itself to be a rectangle, not a rectangle, depending on the size of the thing. Like that's a square, that's a rectangle because the bottom thing doesn't have like the button lines. So yeah, it's interesting. It's working. um, Shit, that's the other way around. Hmm. Yeah, it does what it's supposed to do, right? Um, yeah, 941. Basically, every time you launch screen recording, which is the case right around here, the uh, the iPhone is reverting to presentation state, meaning that my battery's at full capacity, my Wi-Fi is full, my cell reception is full, and it's 941. So that whatever I do, the presentation of stuff is just good. January 9th, 941. That's just how Apple is doing stuff. So, you know, clean interface for recording. It's pretty useful though. Every time I have to present something, it's going to be 941. So that way I have consistency. So every time I have, it's a bit of a derail, but it's a good derail. Every time I have, that's some titties. Every time I have like a video when I'm recording my phone, they are all extremely coherent and cohesive with each other because each of them are going to be displaying 941 bitch get out in the top, full volume and so on. So yeah. Also, yeah, that's also true. So it's a recording thing. Um, it's pretty neat. It is pretty neat. But it's also like only when you are doing screen recording through the cable. If you are not doing that through the cable, you don't get that. Like if you're just recording your screen, you have the battery, you have the thing. So sometimes it's easier. Um, yeah, but yeah, nonetheless, this is pretty cool. It does work. It has all of the functions that I, was expecting it to have, except I know exactly what I'm gonna say, and I know exactly what you're gonna reply. So it doesn't really matter what I'm saying. You will need, and that's an at some point situation. You will need at some point to have native navigations enabled. So what I mean by that is, I think Caleb or someone that is a very big Android versus Apple TikToker, YouTuber person has been complaining for the past 2 days about iOS not having like a universal back button and Android just being able to just swipe from any side of the screen and having like, um, a back button. The thing is, this is something that you also have on iOS, is just like at the discretion of the devs. So if you want in your app to have that, you will need to implement some of these navigation gesture manually, whereas native system thing on Android is a back button is there. So right now I'm trying by muscle memory, to just swipe back. That's not an option. I press the button. It's fine, but it's just something that um, will need to happen at some point for sure. Like here, same thing. I want to reverse stuff. But yeah, that works on Android because Android has the native system-wide back button, and therefore it's just recorded and registered, which is fine. But it's just a different system of navigations. Even if you go with the gesture navigation, I have gesture navigation on this because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. If I can type my password. But yeah, it's basically the same situation. Like this thing in gesture works the same way as the iPhone, which is good to me because of muscle memory on both sides. And here, like so much stuff, yeah, that's gonna be hard to sell. You're gonna have a lot of complaints. I'm sad about that though. I just I just tried to expand the bottom section, but because I can't grab it in the center perfectly without like noticing, it just doesn't really work. It's the same as this, like the bottom sheet, wherever I'm pulling, it's gonna work, right? It's just, it doesn't really care. So, it's a tap and drag, which is the thing that we talked about earlier, which is like not on the web, not as easy to do as these. But yeah, these are the expected behavior, at least from, you know, an iOS navigation point of view. And yes, I use Line. Of course. Of course. I mean, you wouldn't really go far with that IP, I guess, because it's NordVPN IP, guessing. Yeah, I know that the click, drag, select multi-actions is a bit tricky. I know that. The pinch doesn't work. Like, I don't know if it's if I'm doing something wrong or oh, that's broken. Or if something's happening but I don't know. Also right now I lost the data for this. Apparently that block is off. That's interesting. I don't know what happened. I broke something again. Let me add another picture so that, Can I add multiple at once? I'm guessing yes, but also. On one picture, not the grid. So if I'm on one picture and I pinch or zoom, it doesn't. Where do I need to be? Oh, also they don't. They don't load. If I go back to my page, they don't save, which is interesting. Um, yeah, I'm on the same team as you right there. Like it's just not making any sense. Huh, that's broken. Uh, let's make sure. Let's make sure they do. They do. And then they don't. That's pretty cool. That's a very privacy focused app. So I need to make sure I know where I need to be. And then I can tap on something, but then I lost every content, whatever that needs to happen. Um, and I can't really change anything. I can't really select anything in there. That's pretty impressive. Shit, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Yeah. I mean, again, that's good that you can figure things out. Like specifically if you don't have that many users just yet, and someone like me test the app and everything is broken and you can fix that, that's good. And if you have many users right now that have servers and that are not like in the free tier, not logged in and so on, end up with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I can't deny I can't deny there is so many edge cases. Um, it's it's wild. I agree. The the things for you specifically, and the thing that I've seen, let's just open that, is that we start with an idea that is simple enough, and then we complexify and complexify and complexify, and your product at the start was already as complex as it could be based on the type of media, the type of file, the type of interactions, the type of actions, the behaviors, the relationships. Like everything is such a massive cluster of things. Any addition of a type is an exception for another. So the edge cases here are crazy because you can basically do everything. And yeah, you'd end up with very complex content. Mm. So yeah, I get it. Um, if you want me to, now that I'm here, if you want me to try something specific, but also based on the last message you said earlier, saying that this is not the latest version that you have submitted to Apple, I'm also inclined to say don't try to fix anything because you may have fixed that on the latest version, and because I don't have access to it right now, doesn't make any sense. But it's broken on my side. But yeah, it works. Like it has most of the things. Going back to what I said earlier of it looks like an app that is designed for Android. The main reason for that is you are using a lot of dividers, line dividers, and your gray is an orange-based gray because your color scheme is orange, which makes sense. But Yeah, that color scheme is a slight too much. Oh, I didn't try the blur at the top. It's a slight too much Android based in my eyes, and iOS is mostly blue, so that's the reason. Um, but also your app is orange, so it makes sense. So that's the thing that kind of stand out. In the me being me and not knowing much, as always, you probably have you looked into Expo and other frameworks for native based code? Because that might be something that you could potentially implement in a way that is easier. I know it's a lot of work, specifically now that you already have like a version that is on the store and so on, but you may have the ability to use Expo because it's a similar-ish language to what you already know, and um, and just port that. But yeah, require is based. Didn't we just open? uh, uh, I, something has been announced, and I forgot um, exactly what it is. But I do remember that there is a something that is related to like um, the web composer things, whatever. I forgot. I'm saying shit that I don't know. um, yeah, I remember that there is something web based that has been implemented and added um, in the latest version that might be useful. But obviously, I don't know. But yeah, that's an interesting point. If you're for functionality, can you explain what the YJS dependency is, or is that like too much? Might be too much. And I can't really search for web. Ah, I see. That? I don't think so. Maybe. I think it is. I think it is. Um, hmm. Hmm. I don't have enough understanding, obviously, to be like, oh yeah, no, you could do that instead. The only thing that I know is that for me on iOS, pure iOS and nothing else, you can easily implement the native sync with CloudKit and device related stuff. So you have like a closed loop from iPhone to Mac to iPad to whatever that is like extremely easy to implement. Like you define your schema and that's it. And technically speaking, you don't even have to define your schema. You can just have your schema being built while you are creating your first object that needs to be synced. So user create the first thing, it creates the schema for them, and then it's done, and you don't have to do anything, and it's automatically good. So that's neat. But it's like closed from iOS devices and macOS devices, and that's it. So anything that uses CloudKit is good, but you can't really have that working through a Windows machine or an Android phone. So that's not exactly what you want. I know that you have the ability to use CloudKit content through their web API so that you can have like a server or something that is communicating with, but that means like some sort of a bounce with a middleman that is going to be like Android server, which is direct with your YJS situation, and then from YJS situation, things goes back to CloudKit that is then transposed to something else, but that's not exactly what you want to have. So I get that. If it is like a core feature of the app, which is the case, I don't know if you have options. um, I feel like you probably will have options to, figure out how to implement and so on. And there is probably options or people that have ported that to some sort of a um, native layer. I think in probably in React or in Expo or something else, there is uh, like an option to get like a JS related run, but I would understand how it might be way more complex than obviously the apps that I'm building, because I'm building apps that are just on device, stay on device. Um, so yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that there is probably an option for you to read JS related stuff or YJS related stuff um, through an understanding layer, like on device, like maybe a WebSocket or something. I'm saying that because that's the first word that I recognize on that page. Um, but yeah, that's interesting nonetheless. I didn't know about that. So to be checked. But yeah, that's kind of sad. From my point of view, obviously, that is kind of sad to be limited by one of the features that you have, which is fine. It's normal. It happens. Um, but eh, I guess. Yeah, that's really good though. I wish I could. I I have complained about it to myself, from myself to myself, right? Um, as my initial idea for Can was to be able to have your Android phone and your iPhone to have the same database, to have the same content, to be linked to one another, and have a synced experience. That's the plan. But the synced experience on Android is paid basically, and the synced experience on iOS is free. So that changed everything. that just gave me the, well, you're not gonna work for Android anymore, and that's gonna be fine. But yeah, no, I wish I could. Like again, I wish I could have like an app that is web-based and so on. Oh, that's the thing. I think that's the thing. Welcome back. Web GPU, that's not exactly what you need. That's not what you're looking for. But yeah, no, they have a thing that they have announced this year related to web platforms things, but yeah. But yeah, you're welcome. Have a good drive. Be safe, as always. But you did a lot of progress that I'm really... That's the thing. It's WebKit. It's the WebKit thing. I just found it when you need to go. God damn it. um, but yeah, no, I will post that in the Discord so that you have access to it if you need to. In the resource channel. It might be good. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I haven't watched this video specifically. I need to make sure that I understand. But yeah, it's usually good. Usually. Yeah. Won't watch that today. Won't watch that today. But yeah, you did good. Congrats. Congrats. What did you eat? Aaron, what was the dinner? What was the dinner? Oh, god damn, this is broken again. That WebKit thing is gonna need to be fixed at some point. That sounds very... that sounds very Nordic. Indeed, yes. Yes. I've been on a... I mean, this, specifically that, is the protein of my lunch of the day lately. That goes at the bottom of a tortilla bread situation, like just flat, you know? And then on top of that, I have some avocado and some of that. The reason for this is that these cans, they have like they have a small version that is the perfect size for one person. And so these are veggies enough for me. The ham is protein enough. The fajitas is like fibers, and the avocado is just fat and fibers. So I'm getting like something that is full macros and so on. And that's it. That's my lunch of the day. and my dinner of the day as well. So I've been like living on something that is really, really bad in terms of everything that is in there. But yeah, um, it's just it's the fastest thing that I can come up with. It's good enough, and I've been surviving on that for the past year and a half, I guess. So yeah, it's cheap enough, but it's not that cheap, but it's cheap enough. I think it comes up at like three something, $4 per meal. So that's $4 a day, roughly, which is cheap, but it's not like the cheapest that I could go at. Um, and the reason is because I love pasta, but I hate cooking pasta because I need to clean the the pot afterward, and the cleaning of the pot on in my sink is just so bad. So yeah, that is not like nice cheap meal. The amount of times I went to the fridge, I took the shredded cheese and I put that on top of a tortilla and I just rolled that and munched on that. Cheap. Nice? No, not nice. But also, like, one of the other thing that is pretty important to remember is that I have, um, like, I am subscribed to HelloFresh. So every Saturday, I'm receiving a box that contains 2 to 4 meals. And so from there, I'm getting a lot of the bases that I'm getting in the tortillas. Um, but yeah, that's also something that is like more expensive, but not as expensive. So yeah, me too. But I don't cook rice or pasta here. It's not. I have like a rice cooker, a Japanese rice cooker, but it's like a small restaurant rice cooker. So it doesn't have any space to be placed somewhere. And I wish I could, but I also know how I kind of um, cook rice specifically. So no, nope, that's not the thing. Um, Dang, I need to buy one of these. I forgot the name. Uh, oh, bitch. These fucking things. They have like one of the cutest one-person rice cooker, and that's one of the reasons why I like them. Um, what do you mean you stuck at 77%? Get off. That's it. That's it. Cool. So that's better. Um, they have like some of these cute ass one person things, and right now what I have is basically one of the biggest ones, not from that brand, but it is like a restaurant size thing. So I can have uh, a 2 kilos of rice batch if I wanted to, and because I don't know how to portion for myself, I will make too much. So I really need to buy like one of the teeny tiniest that they have to make sure that it's just like good. The issue with that is that the um keeping the rice, I need like bowls or Tupperwares or something, and I don't have that to put in the fridge. And my fridge is too small. I have too many excuses, basically, to do rice at home anymore. In the previous flat, I had the space, and I don't have the space anymore. So I will probably like again get bitch get out. Why is it so bad? Ugh. Yeah, I know, but like I just need one of these. So good, so good. Also, it sings at the end. It has the regular Japanese song, so obviously I like it. I like it. But the small one is $200. God damn. One day. One day I will do that. One day it will be fine. But yeah, no, I don't. So I don't do that. I'm mostly looking at recipes when I'm doing HelloFresh that are like as non-pasta, non-rice, no cooking. Basically, it's the least cooking options. And so shit like this is the easiest because I'm just getting like beef or whatever other things that I have. I just cook that and I'm done with it. And then the cleaning, because that's what I hate to do, doesn't exist other than the pan. Like I clean the pan and I'm done. Whereas something that requires me to get through rice, pasta, or mashing potatoes and so on is just so much cleaning that I just don't want to look at. And yeah, lately they've been doing a lot of very shitty and dark patterns in design, but also in their presentations. Um, that just is so bad. They are presenting a lot of really good recipes, and these recipes are the premium recipes, so you end up with paying $4 more than what it is for your, you know, for your meals, and that's not good. So yeah, basically each of these, and the main point of that is that you are getting, I'm paying $56 per week for 4 meals for 2 people, so for 8 meals in total, and that's kind of cheap for what it is and for the quality of the ingredients. And I wish I had like a sponsored link. I do, but I don't have it. Um, but yeah, uh, I don't like. I usually don't. When I have like a full box on the Saturday, I usually have enough for the full week. So even though it is like officially 4 days for 2 people on the 4 days, I'm not doing the meals that they have here. Like I'm doing, I might buy this one, which is not the case, but I might buy this one because it has like the the pork things plus the rice plus the chives plus some of the veggies and so on that I can combine with the roasted veggies situations. And so I would have like potatoes for like 2 days and so on. So I'm just splitting things for the 5 days usually. And I'm eating once a day, as always. So not a lot of takeouts, if ever. Like it depends on what's happened on my delivery for the Saturday. If it's delivered on time, which happens, not often, but it happens, I'm getting enough for the week, and I might go out buy something once when necessary. Um, But yeah, yeah, I do too. I do too. I talked about this before. Um, you know, these things that are like the size of my face. I mean, they are taller than me. Um, I'm doing my best to not have them in the house because they are supposed to be like 4 cubes of chocolate filled with Oreo stuff is 130 calories. I usually have half of a fucking bar in one day, and that's really bad. Um, so that's the goal. I'm trying to not have any, um, like, yeah, these ones are so good. That's my favorite. I want to try these ones. I can't find them. These ones are shit. These are bad, but it's fine. And that's as bad as well. And I want to figure out where these are, but they are kind of not necessarily available. But yeah, that's each of these bars are 1,260 calories. So it's basically a full meal, a full day of eating in one bar of chocolate. It's it is a deadly thing. So yeah, I'm doing my best to not like do that often. I usually just have blueberries, and that's what I eat throughout the day when I need to eat something. But yeah, um, I'm not trying to get out. Also, like, not that money is scarce and I need to be frugal and make sure that I'm not spending too much and so on, but kinda, but not really. Um, that's the benefit of having worked for a long time. But still, I'm trying to not like spend too much because it makes no sense. So most of the time, I'm just ending up doing some shit like this, where I'm buying a lot of these plant-based balls and so on because I have like an avocado, some chickpeas, and other veggies that I can just slap inside of a fucking tortilla and be good with it. That's the best thing. No dishes to no dishes to clean, just the knife, and I'm done. No, because I quit my job. They don't give me shit. If I was fired, if I had been fired, I would have gotten 75%, I think, for the first year. And then they go down to like 50%, I think, and then 25 and so on. But because I quit and like that happens, but I also like don't have enough income. I don't have enough income as a freelancer, officially. I'm getting $500 a month, um, from the government, but that's it. Like that's what I pay in Twitch subs. So it's not true, but that yeah, not really good. Not really good. That's why, you know, bit of a UI kit for you. No, I know you have it already. Um, but yeah, no, that's the thing. I'm using that most of the time. So that cost me $200 a month, which is coming very French, which is still a lot, right? $56 a month is $56 a week is not nothing. um, but it's good enough, and you end up with kind of good enough macros for most of the things. We do like it. It makes sense. How much is it in the US? I have a promo right there. Why do I have a promo right here? Makes no sense. Um, yeah. I mean, that's basically the thing. The plan that I have is that a safe thing to showcase? I don't know. One second. Making sure, making sure. Not that I care, to be honest, but yeah. Um, like basically the box is 50-ish. 57, I think, and there is like $6 of delivery fees or something. So that is really good on its own because you end up with like enough stuff. Like, for example, let's say I want to change the recipes here because I don't like any of these. So this is some fish and some veggies. I'm fine with that. I can live with it. This is a lot of like tomatoes and lentils. I'm not gonna get that. Um, that one has some pasta in it, so I'm not taking it most of the time. And then this one could work, could work. Um, and so I can just go in and find stuff like, again, these ones might be better, but then you need to pay like $3 more per portion. So per portion means that it's like there's two portions, so you're adding $6 to your delivery and so on. Like this one, I would love to have that, but that's not an option and so on. And so at the end of the day, the basket right here has only two stuff, and it's supposed to cost me $39 for the two, and there is like yeah $6 of delivery. So overall, when I'm using four, it's going to be 57 in total. So for you spending like $60, if you're someone that cooks, that's really good. However, that's one of the only thing that I'm complaining about when it comes to HelloFresh. If you're someone that eats a lot and you like big portions, um, it is it might become tiny. Like again, I'm eating the portion for two people on my own. So there's that. But also that's my only meal of the day. So there's that as well. A lot of potentials. But yeah, no, that's the thing. I think it's cheap enough to be good, and it's good enough to be kind of balanced overall as a meal. Not that expensive, but more expensive than just doing the grocery shopping. Um, I have done liquid meals. Yes, I've done Huels. I've done Sneak is the one that I have here, and I don't like them, but I don't mind them either. It's it's fine, but that's it. Like it doesn't have more than fine. I had there was like a very popular French brand at some point, and I don't know if they still exist, but I did that twice because it's easier. You have like small pockets, you just have hot water and you're done. Um, but it's also like kind of, I don't know, it feels worse, but fuel is fine. Hmm. fuel is good enough. Um, I think the overall like bags is okay. The thing is, at the end of the day, I'm not using the recommended amount. I'm usually doing like 1.5 the recommended amount. So they are, from what I remember, it's like 2 scoops, and I'm usually doing 3 to 4. Uh, so, eh, not that great. And then you go through a bag really, really quickly. I mean, it's on purpose to make you buy like more, but yeah. Um, it's nice, but it's not filling, or at least this one. I don't know, Jimmy Joy, that's not like a that's not. I know these ones. I have never tried them because I don't think I have access to them. Um, but it's the same thing as the one I had. But yeah, that these things, um, these bags. I feel like the shakes, the liquid one, is not filling enough for my satiations society. Um, and I always end up being hungry 1 hour to 2 hour later, and that's it. So when they came up with um, the readies, like these ones, which are way more expensive than expected, it's, that's just crazy. Um, it's better because it's just faster, but like packaging and so on is not so good. Um, and when you go with the hots, which is fine as well, but it's the same situation, it's not that good. It's fine, but it's not that good. So, yeah. Um, I think, I mean, these, Alan, this is pretty good if that's your goal. Um, that is a full, like, a full meal officially that you don't need to eat. You just need to drink that, and you have enough calories and enough, like, nutriment and so on to fill you up. So that's a good thing, but it's also it's not like that's not good. Again, I'm gonna be the most Japan glazer again because I can. Um, you know, that is what I used to have in the store. This is fresh from the day. It's on the shelf, and you can just get that for 276 yen, and it's good. This shit right there, almost once to twice a week, almost. And if you want something that is more fresh and you like salads and so on, like these salads are pretty cool. They have dressings on the side, they have pastas and so, and it's just like, so cheap, so nice. Look at that. 2 of these and you're done for the morning. Most Japanese people are going to take like one of these for lunch and they're good with it. Like my ex was good with it, but also like tiny. So that makes sense. I need two for sure. Um, but all of that, like these bento boxes are so nice. They are filling, and you don't need to cook anything. Like again, I said that while I was there. I said that since I came back. I will say that again until I go back. It is cheaper in Japan to go out and eat something outside than to cook at home. Buying everything that I need to achieve this would cost me probably twice to three times as much as the bento itself. And it would take me time, first of all, and then time cleaning to achieve the same thing. Whereas right now, this is 430 yen, so that's like three
Universe is now
bucks.
following.
Ah, Universe, hi, welcome in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thanks a lot for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope you're good. But yeah, like all of that, it, ah, again, Japan glazing all the time, but like there's a lot of issues in Japan, but also the food. God damn the food. Ah, I missed that. So yeah, that's the thing. Like if you want meals that are quick and fast and cheap, these ones are options that don't require you to have like any dish cleaning after, unless like I mean, other than the fucking fork. This one is just no cleaning at all, which is really good for me. Um, and the only one that's good is the red berries things. The chocolate one is shit. The banana is shit. The vanilla is fine, but it's kind of shit. And then the red berries is the only one that works for me. So, I'm limited. Um, but yeah, no, overall, like these things are options, and you end up with some of these powders that are just like more expensive than others, but also good. So if you just need something quick, that's an option. Um, and if you just need something good and you don't mind the cleaning after the cooking, HelloFresh is really nice for that. One of the things that is kind of fun for me is that when I went to Japan and lived there, I was looking for HelloFresh in Japan because it made more sense. They they were so unsuccessful in Japan that they had to close shop because Japanese people do not do like cooking at home and plan the cooking at home in advance. They just go out when they need to, and that's it. So, like going out, getting one of these, oh, god damn. It just makes so much sense. They have added like a new, um, I mean, they have seasonal element, but they also have the hot section that we don't really talk about most of the time. Most of these things are also pretty nice for what they are. They are expensive, and they are fat, and they are not good for you health wise, but they're good. Like these fucking fried potato. God damn, I miss this. A lot of people are going for the famichiki, which is the chicken from Family Mart in Japan, which is extremely popular for what it is. To me, it's too fat, and I ate too much of it. And then most people are saying that Family Mart that's not gonna help. Their food. Why are you doing here? Sorry. Their food is better in some situations, so the famichiki is more better. than other things, but I disagree. Nonetheless, look at that shit. That would be $9, $10 here, and it would be worse. And this is like 458, 460. That's 270-ish right now. That's crazy. Nonetheless, you're now hungry. I'm sorry. I am hungry as well. It happens. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing happens. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. So going back to where we were, I'm doing my best to not go out as much as before, and then um, making sure that I have like enough stuff for the amount of time that I go out per week. I would say a median might be two. Like there might be a time on the weekend where I'm like, the fucking box didn't get delivered on the day that it was supposed to be delivered. So I had to, you know, um, get out and eat something at lunch. But then again, my rhythm is so weird for 90% of the activities that I have, meaning that I go to the gym at 6. When I come back, I'm eating my lunch of the day basically at 7:30 or 8 something. And then I don't eat until the next day, most of the days, or until I get out to do some grocery shopping for the next day and I have um like I just buy some blueberries and that's it. So overall, I end up with like maybe getting out once or twice and be done with that. But yeah, not necessarily the most like spending either. I'm trying to calculate what I spend for real. I think if I was to be or to make like the pasta and rice and other recipes that are in HelloFresh, I might be able to just cut down the cost of other things as well because I would be able to have like some reusable carbs here and there. I think that would potentially last me more than the day itself, but I doubt. I think I have said that before. If I cook something, I'm eating it. Like if I cook for 5 people, I'm eating it on the day. There is nothing that stays. Um, it happens so many times. I know how I'm working, so yeah. Maybe now I'm more diligent and I might be able to just like not, but I still doubt. I still think I would cook for 5 and eat for 6. Yeah, that's crazy. The sad part, I would say, is that the burger place that I go to is one of the most expensive bitch that is around here. So I'm getting out of there spending 20 to $30 almost every time. And that's not good. Like that, it shouldn't be the case. The closest one is like 14 for burger and fries, which is fine, but it's still expensive. The other one is like 19.90, so $20 minimum. And so I almost always come back here, specifically if it's at night, with like something at 26 to $27, and that's way too expensive. It's good though, but way too expensive. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. Anyways, anyways, what the fuck is that? Why is that happening? I don't know. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, sorry. I just got ADHD'd into something. That happens. Well, Cat is currently subathoning type of situation, so we're gonna help. So yeah, as always, thanks a lot for being here. I highly appreciate it. If you want to watch the VOD for some reason, that's gonna be on YouTube. As always, if you have questions and you want to ask them when I'm not live, join the Discord. If you want to ask them when I'm live, come back here on Wednesday. Wednesday at 4:20 in Paris time should be the time for you. As always, if you want to learn Japanese, Can is pretty cool. And if you want to give me some money, you can buy a UI kit. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Eat something after all that. Drink something. Be kind to each other. You know, the usual. I'll see you on Wednesday for Be Good. I'm gonna see if I can figure out some of the stuff that is happening when it comes to meds and other situations to make sure that we have like more interesting streams from my point of view, but also from your point of view. As always, I like to do reviews. That's the most thing that or that's the thing that I like the most to do on stream. So we'll see if I can figure out a way to have like pre-planned review for the streams. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, usual, take care of yourself, be kind to each other. I'll see you soon. Bye.